Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. You are welcome. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Today is July the 16th. It is around 12:20 p.m. my time. I hope you guys are doing okay. All right. Sorry, late this morning, but I'm going to do my best to accommodate today's program. Okay. I'll try my best as much as possible to accommodate everyone on today's program. So, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? All right. Today's topic is gonna be. I'm gonna be discussing about. Um, today's topic. I'll be discussing about diets to help persons or person with hypoglycemia diabetes. I believe you guys know what is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is people that are suffering from low blood sugar. People that are suffering from low blood sugar is called hypoglycemia. That is the medical name for it. People suffering from low blood sugar is called hypoglycemia. So today I'm going to be concentrating on diets to help people suffering from those from that chronic illness. Okay, uh, so So that is what I'll be discussing today. Okay, that is what I'll be discussing today. Um, Let me once more again create another banner. I'm waiting for everyone to come online, then we can start. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so please uh, let me finish typing this so that we can start the program. Indicate for me where you are watching from. All right, so let's let's start the program. So how are you guys? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are, what continent you are watching me from. Today, we're going to be discussing about um, we'll be discussing about diet for people. Uh, we're going to be discussing diet for people living with hypoglycemia, and we all know what is hypoglycemia. Okay, uh, diet can be an important tool for managing hypoglycemia. Eating small, frequent meals that include lean proteins, complex carbs, and food high in soluble fiber may help control blood sugar. Okay, so So that is what we will be discussing today. Okay. So diet can be an important tool for managing hypoglycemia. Eating small, frequent meals that include lean proteins, complex carbs, and foods high in soluble fiber may help control blood sugar. Okay, so please support this page. Um, all right, so let me give you guys. Okay, so today's program, I'm going to be discussing about diet to help people that are living with hypoglycemia. And we all know what hypoglycemia is all about. Hypoglycemia is, okay, so I'm going to discuss about the breakfast plan, mid-morning plan, lunch, mid-afternoon snacks, uh, before you exercise, and then dinner plan, meat, and then bedtime plan. Okay, so now, and I'm going to give you some tips. There are some tips you have to follow, okay, in managing your hypoglycemia. So we will be discussing the diets. We'll be discussing the diets. All right. We'll be discussing the diets. Diet can be an important. Okay. I'm gonna let me go on this. All right. So I'm gonna put this on the screen for you guys to understand, and then we can read along. Diets. So as you guys know what I'm going to be discussing again, I'm going to repeat it one more time. We'll be discussing about diets for people living with hypoglycemia. And we all know what hypoglycemia means. That is a medical term for people living with low blood sugar. Okay, and then diets can be an important tool for managing hypoglycemia. And eating small, frequent meals that include lean proteins. Yesterday I discussed about lean proteins, complex carbs. We have two types of carbs, complex carbs, and food that are high in soluble fiber may help control blood sugar. Okay, so that is the kinds of dieting we're going to be discussing today for people living with hypoglycemia. We have hyperglycemia and we have hypoglycemia. I want you guys to understand that. Hypo means you are suffering from low blood sugar most of the time. And when you have hyperglycemia, it means you are dealing with a situation you are always having issues with your elevated blood sugar. It means your blood sugar is always high. That is hyper. And when it is hypo, it means your blood sugar is always low. Okay, so I'm going to be concentrating today on diets that fit into people living with hypoglycemia, suffering from low blood sugar. Okay, so hypoglycemia means that you have low blood sugar. Okay, and people with diabetes often experience low blood sugar levels. Certain medications, excessive alcohol consumptions, some critical illnesses, and hormone deficiency can also cause hypoglycemia without diabetes. So you might not be diabetic, but suffering from hypoglycemia. All right. So it is not necessarily associated that you must be diabetic to be suffering from hypoglycemia. If there are people that are not diabetic, okay, but they are suffering from hypoglycemia, and there are certain conditions or there are certain things that may affect your low blood sugar. So let's once again understand what is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia means that you have low blood sugar. That is hypoglycemia. And people with diabetes often experience low blood sugar levels. And there is, there are certain conditions that may affect you having low blood sugar, and it might be medications. Certain medication you might be taking that might be contributing you having low blood sugar, even though you might not be diabetic. Okay? Excessive alcohol consumption. There are people that are alcoholic, but they are not diabetics, but they are suffering from low blood sugar. So consuming excessive alcohol can also affect your blood sugar levels. Certain medication that you might take might also affect your low blood sugar, even though you might not be diabetic. Okay? Some critical illnesses that you are going through presently or in the past might be contributing you having low blood sugar, even though you might not be diabetic. Okay, and hormone deficiencies can also cause you to be experiencing low blood sugar, even though you might not be diabetic. So that is what I'm trying to define. What is hypoglycemia? Hypoglycemia means you are suffering from low blood sugar frequently, but there are certain conditions that you might not be diabetic and be suffering from low blood sugar, and that is what I just defined. But most of the time, 1 in 10 people suffering from low blood sugar are diabetics. So let's try to differentiate both. You might be suffering from low blood sugar and not be diabetics, but frequently, most people suffering from low blood sugar is 1 in 10 have diabetes. So that is what I'm trying to explain. What is hypoglycemia, as you can see in the screen. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Once again, hypoglycemia means that you have low blood sugar. People with diabetes often experience low blood sugar levels. Certain medication, excessive alcohol consumption, some critical illnesses, and hormone deficiency can also cause you to have hypoglycemia without diabetics. Okay? Without diabetics. So, I hope you understand that. So, now let's keep going while I'm waiting for people to come online. Reactive hypoglycemia is a condition. We have reactive and underreactive. So reactive hypoglycemia is a condition that causes low blood sugar within a 4-4 window after meals. You see, there is something we call 4-4 window after meals. And that is why I've said it in the past that you should, within 24-hour period, spread your meal across. Instead of eating one large meal at a go, have 4-4 meal intervals. Your first meal in the morning, your breakfast, then take the next meal 4 hours after, and then the next meal 4 hours after, and then the next meal 4 hours after. You spread it within 24-hour period, 4-4 meal after meal. So that is what we call reactive hypoglycemia, which means a condition that causes low blood sugar within 4-4 hour window meals after meal. That means if you take your breakfast 4-4 hour window after meal. Let me repeat it again so that I'm getting mixing up my words. Reactive hypoglycemia. Okay, I've defined what hypoglycemia means. You might experience hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, even though you are not diabetic, because of certain medications you are taking, excessive alcohol consumption, some critical illness you are passing through now or in the past, and some hormone deficiency can cause you to have hypoglycemia, even though you are not diabetic. But 1 in 10 people suffering from low blood sugar suffers diabetes. So you might be experiencing low blood sugar hypoglycemia, even though you are not diabetic, because of certain medications you are taking, or excessive alcohol consumption you are taking, or some critical illnesses that you are passing presently, or some hormone deficiency that you are suffering now. Okay, so those can contribute you to have hypoglycemia. But there is something we call reactive hypoglycemia. Okay, it's a condition that causes your blood sugar, that causes you to have low blood sugar within 4-hour window after meal. That means if you eat your breakfast in the morning, say for instance 7 hours, 7 o'clock in the morning, you are expected to eat another meal 4 hours after. So within between that 7 in the morning to and you start counting your 4 hours meal, immediately you reach that 4 hour, your blood sugar is going to dip low. And then when you eat again, your blood sugar is going to be be at the target range. Within the next 4 hours again, your blood sugar is going to dip. So that is what we call reactive hypoglycemia. It's a condition that causes you to have low blood sugar within 4 hour window period after meal. So once you finish eating now in the morning, you count 4 hours from the time you eat. Immediately it clocks in 4 hour, your meal drops, your low blood sugar drops. And then you have to eat again. You count another 4 hours. Once it approaches the 4 hour, your blood sugar dips. That is what we call 4 hour window after meal reactive. Patience Bar, you are welcome from Ghana. You are welcome. So, okay, so that is what we call reactive hypoglycemia. Okay, it's a condition that causes low blood sugar within a 4 hour window after meal. Okay, that is what we call reactive. Uh, okay, so reactive hypoglycemia is a condition that causes low blood sugar within a 4 hour window after meal, and I've explained it several times. Eating food raises blood sugar levels. The people who have hypoglycemia make more insulin than is needed when they eat. Okay, the excess insulin leads to drop in the blood sugar levels. So we all understand that after eating food, immediately after eating food, your sugar level raises up. Okay, now people that suffers from hypoglycemia, that is, you are suffering from low blood sugar. Okay, makes more insulin than is needed when they eat. So when you are suffering from hypoglycemia, you are producing more insulin than is needed when you eat. So what happened? The excess insulin leads to a drop in the blood sugar levels. Okay? So now we have two conditions here of we know what is hypoglycemia. You might have experienced hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, even though you are not diabetic. But 1 in 10 people suffering from hypoglycemia are diabetics. But there are certain conditions that might lead you to have low blood sugar, even though you are not diabetic. And I've explained it. I've given you those conditions when you are taking certain medications that can contribute to you having low blood sugar. Excessive alcohol consumption can cause you to have low blood sugar, even though you are not diabetic. Certain critical illnesses, certain conditions, or certain critical illness you are suffering presently or in the past might lead you to have low blood sugar, even though you are not diabetic. Now, some hormone deficiency can lead you to have low blood sugar, even though you are not diabetic. But as I said, 1 in 10 people suffering from hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, have diabetes. Now we have something they call reactive hypoglycemia. It's a condition that causes low blood sugar within a 4 hour window after meal. Okay, and what does that mean? All right, that is why I said within 24-hour period, you have to spread your meal for 4 hour interval instead of you eating a large meal at a go. Instead of eating one large meal, spread your meal within 24-hour period, 4 hour interval. Okay. Now, eating food, we all know that as soon as you eat food, it shoots up your blood sugar level very high. Okay. We all know that. Those that have been following me from the time we started knows that as soon as you finish eating food, it's going to raise your blood sugar very high. And that is why you have been advised After eating meal, wait 1 hour to 2 hours after your meal to check your blood sugar level. You see that your blood sugar is going to shoot up. But as time goes on, it's going to come back to normal level. Now, people that suffer from hypoglycemia, okay, low blood sugar, make more insulin that is needed when they eat. Okay, so if you are suffering from hypoglycemia, you are producing more insulin more than you needed when you eat. So what happened? The excess insulin leads to drop in their blood sugar level. So when you produce more than required excess insulin that your body needs when you eat, it causes you to have a dip in your blood sugar levels. And that is why you are being advised to spread your meal within 24-hour period, to eat in an interval of 4 hours. Instead of you eating in one large meal once at a go, divide your meal within 24-hour period to eat every 4 hours, have something to eat to maintain a target range of your blood sugar levels. Okay? Don't allow your sugar level to drop very, very low, because it's going to cause you very, very bad situation. If you watch my video yesterday, diabetic coma, I discussed about it. When you allow your blood sugar to drop below 250 milligram per deciliter, it's going to cause you to go into shock and cause you a certain brain damage. And if care is not taken, it's going to cause you death. All right. So that is what is called hypoglycemia. It is when your blood sugar level drop. And you might experience hypoglycemia even though you are not diabetic. And I've given you the conditions, that the certain condition that might lead you to have hypoglycemia even though you are not diabetic. Okay, so you have to understand that very well. Now, as I said, today's topic, we are going to be discussing about dieting for people suffering from that hypoglycemia. Remember, hypoglycemia is when you are suffering from low blood sugar all the time. And then hyperglycemia is when you are suffering from too much sugar level, when your sugar level is too high. So we have hypo and we have hyper. So hypoglycemia is a medical term. The common name for everybody to understand is low blood sugar. So when you hear hypoglycemia, it means you are suffering from low blood sugar, and there are diets. There are diet tips for people suffering from hypoglycemia. And from what I posted on the screen there, if you can read it, it says diet can be an important tool for managing hypoglycemia. Eating small frequent meals that include lean protein, complex carbs, and food that are high in soluble fiber may help control the blood sugar. Okay. Now, yesterday, I did say, Olubimi, you are welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yes, I know you are from Nigeria, Olubimi. Happy Sunday. How are you doing? Okay. So, today we will be discussing. I'm discussing about happy Sunday to you. Olu. Okay. So, what are we discussing? I was discussing about diets for people living with hypoglycemia. Let me go back a little bit before I proceed. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit and refresh what I said before about hypoglycemia. If you look at the screen, what I posted on the screen, okay, if you look at what is scrolling across the screen, that's what is scrolling as well, is the definition of hypoglycemia. And hypoglycemia is a medical word. I rarely use medical words so that I don't confuse you guys more. That is why I try to replace any medical terms with a simple language that you can understand when discussing diabetes. And as I said yesterday, diabetes has a language. it has a language, and if you are not diabetics, you find it very difficult to understand the language of diabetics. Okay, except you are a diabetic. Now, hypoglycemia, you can have or experience hypoglycemia even though you are not diabetic. And there are certain conditions that can lead you to have hypoglycemia even if you are not diabetic. Okay? And hypoglycemia is a medical term. It means that you are having a low blood sugar. You are suffering from a low blood sugar. That is type 1 diabetics. Type 2 diabetics is when you are suffering all the time high blood sugar. Now, people with diabetics often experience low blood sugar levels if you are suffering from type 1 diabetes. But there are certain conditions that may lead you to have hypoglycemia even though you are not diabetic. And I said certain medications can make you suffer from low blood sugar even though you are not diabetic. If you are an alcoholic, drinking excessive alcohol consumption can lead you to have hypoglycemia even though you are not diabetic. Now, some critical illnesses that you are suffering presently or in the past can make you suffer hypoglycemia even though you are not diabetic. And then hormone deficiency can also cause you to have hypoglycemia even though you are not diabetic. But 1 in 10 people that suffer from hypoglycemia are diabetics. So that is what is called hypoglycemia. Now, diet can be an important tool for managing hypoglycemia. Eating small, frequent meals that include lean proteins. Yesterday, I discussed about lean proteins. Complex carbs. We have about 2 kinds of carbs. And then food that are high in soluble fiber may help you control blood sugar. So that is what we will be discussing about diet for people suffering from hypoglycemia. Okay. Now, please, if you've not subscribed to my page, kindly do so. All right. If you are a newcomer to my page, try to subscribe to my page, give me a thumbs up, like my page, comment, and then share. Well, invite your friends to the community to join the page. If you've not subscribed and this is your first time you are watching my page, do not forget to subscribe to my page, like, leave me a comment, and then share. Okay? It is very important for you to subscribe to my page so that anytime I drop a new content or I go live, you'll be notified to join. Okay? It is important you subscribe to my page. Okay? So let's go back to what we are discussing before. I'm going to remove this about dieting. I'm going to remove this now, and then I'm going to allow, I'm going to put this for you to indicate where you are watching me from. Okay, indicate where you are watching me from. It is important you indicate where you are watching me from. Okay, let's go on this. Okay. All right. Please do not forget to ask any question. If you have any question, do not forget to ask your question while I'm doing the presentation. So now I've talked in length about hypoglycemia, and you guys understand what is hypoglycemia. And then the next one I discuss about is reactive hypoglycemia. And what do you guys understand about reactive hypoglycemia? It's a condition that causes you to have low blood sugar within a 4-hour window after meal. Okay? It's a condition, a reactive hypoglycemia. That's what they call it, reactive hypoglycemia. It causes you to have low blood sugar within 4-hour window after meal. Okay? So within 4 hours after your meal, you have low blood sugar. Why? Why do you have low blood sugar within 4 hour window after meal? Why do you have to have a low blood sugar within 4 hour period after meal? Normally, when we have our meal, our blood sugar rises up. Okay. Normally, when you eat, as soon as you finish eating, your blood sugar is supposed to rise up. And that is why you are advised to check your blood sugar level within 1 hour to 2 hours after meal. You see that you have an elevated blood sugar level. But it's going to come down gently, or you find something to take to bring it down. But why do you have a reactive hypoglycemia? Why does your blood sugar comes down, go low within 4 hour window after meal? Now, there is something that happens if you are suffering from hypoglycemia. If you are suffering from type 1 glycemia, that you are depending on insulin all the time to boost your sugar level up. There is something that happens if you are suffering from hypoglycemia. Okay? People that suffer from hypoglycemia produces enough or more than enough insulin than they required during their meal time. So if you are suffering from hypoglycemia, okay, you are producing more insulin than you required when you are eating. Okay? Then what happened? The excess insulin that you are producing leads you to have a drop in your blood sugar level. That is why it's called reactive hypoglycemia. Okay? Normally when you eat, you're supposed to have a boost, elevation in your blood sugar level. Your blood sugar is supposed to rise even above the normal level. But when you are suffering from a constant hypoglycemia, you are going to experience what we call a reactive hypoglycemia. And why is it reactive hypoglycemia? It causes your blood sugar level to drop within a 4 hour window after meal. Within that 4 hour window that you finish taking your meal, you have a drop in your blood sugar level. Instead of your sugar level to rise up when you eat, there is a condition that you are suffering. And what happens is that you are producing more insulin than you require when you are eating. Now, the excess insulin that you are producing is going to force you to have a drop in your sugar level. And that is why you've been advised to spread your meal within 24-hour period. Instead of you eating a one large meal at once a go, spread it within 24 hours. That is 4-hour window time. Okay? So now, let's talk about the tips. Okay? Hypoglycemia is a lifelong condition, but you can manage its symptoms through your diet. Okay? Either you are suffering from hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia, that is a low blood sugar level, or let me use the word, either you are suffering from type 1 diabetics or type 2 diabetics. They are all lifelong chronic conditions that cannot be cured, but you can manage it through dieting. Okay? So you can manage the symptoms of type 1 diabetes, which is hypoglycemia, or type 2 diabetes, which is hypoglycemia, through simple diet. You have to manage the symptoms. So, and there are tips I'm going to give to you guys on how to manage your hypoglycemia symptoms. Okay? Let me give you guys the tips, the diet tips on how to manage your hypoglycemia symptoms through dieting. Okay? So the first tip, let me share a screen for you guys. I'm going to share a screen for you guys. And let's see. Okay. I'm trying to share a tips for you guys. All right. I'm going to share this tip. Okay. I'm trying to remove. Okay. Now, this is a tip. Okay. This is the first tip. I'm going to give you guys another screen. I'm going to share another screen. There are about 5 or 6 tips. Okay. There are about 5 or 6 tips. Hypoglycemia is a lifelong condition, but you can help manage its symptoms through your diet. Follow these rules of thumbs. Okay. Now, the first tip is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Instead of you eating a one large meal, you have to spread your meal in every 3 to 4 hours period of time within 24-hour period. So number one tip is eat a small meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day, rather than eating 3 large meals per day. That's number one tip. Okay. The next one is avoid food that are high in saturated fat or trans fat. Yesterday, when I was discussing about yesterday, I said something about avoiding patronizing fast food joints. Most fast food joints use oil that is high in saturated fat or trans fat. So you have to avoid patronizing fast food joints all the time. Once in a while, you can cheat and patronize them, but don't make it as a habit in patronizing fast food joints, because what they do, they produce quantity, not quality. They are there to make profit. They are not there to cater for your individual health need, except you place a customized special need diet. Then they will produce it personally according to your need. But it's going to be more expensive because now they are going to produce quality according to your health needs. But avoid patronizing fast food joint because they are there for profit making. So most of their food, they use saturated fat or trans fat to make their meals. So number one tip on managing your hypoglycemia is eat small meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day, rather than eating 3 large meals per day. And then avoid foods high in saturated fat or trans fat. And then the second one is choose food with a low glycemic index. You have to choose food that have a low glycemic index. In the next page, that I'm going to share with you guys, you're going to see the second point. So this tip number one. Okay, let's go to tip number two. I'm going to share the next page with you guys. Tip number two. Okay, let me go to tip number two. I'm going to share another screen with you guys, and we can talk. Okay, so this is tip number two. Okay, on how to manage your hypoglycemia symptoms through dieting. Reduce or eliminate processed and refined sugar from your diet. Okay, reduce or eliminate processed and refined sugar from your diets. Zubida Al Kazim, thanks, Doc. Every informative information, catching up on many mistakes we have overlooked. Thank you very much, Zubida. Thank you very much, Zubida. Zubida, where are you watching me from? Can you tell me where you are watching me from, please, Zubida? Okay. So number two tips is reduce or eliminate processed and refined sugar from your diet. Number 3 says choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. Remember, I told you guys we have complex carbohydrate and we have simple carbohydrate. And yesterday, if you watched my video yesterday, I did define both of them. Simple carbohydrate are the regular carbohydrate that your body can break down very easily. Like if you eat a white rice, white bread, those are simple refined carbohydrates. Your body can break down as soon as you are eating them, like a yam. You see yam meal, those tuber yam, they are high in carbohydrates. Cassava meal, millet meals, semolina, those are high in carbohydrate. They are simple carbohydrate. As soon as you are eating them, your body is breaking them very easily, and then that is why it's going to shoot up your sugar level very high. That is why as soon as you are eating, not in less than 2 minutes, you're already rushing to the washroom because you are going to be urinating every second because you are eating a simple carbohydrate. Your body can break them down very easily. And that is why they say stay away from white rice instead of brown rice. That fall under simple carbohydrate. That is why they say choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. If you watch yesterday's video, I explain it. Okay, simple carbohydrate, your body can break them down very easily and shoot up your. So once they are breaking down those carbohydrates, they are dumping the glucose because those carbohydrates is going to be converted into glucose. Even though that's what they say, limit your carbohydrate intake. Less carbs, more fiber. Because once you consume those simple carbohydrates, it's going to break them down and convert them into glucose, into sugar, and again dump them into your bloodstream, and they shoot up your sugar level very high. So even though they are carbohydrates, as soon as you eat them, your body is going to convert them into glucose again, those sugar again that you are running away from, and then dump them into your bloodstream, and it's going to shoot up your blood sugar very high. And that is why they say choose complex carbohydrate instead of simple carbohydrate. And what are those complex carbohydrates? Are soluble fiber. That is why they say eat oatmeals, fiber meals, food that are rich in soluble fiber. Those are complex carbohydrates. Your body cannot break them down very easily. Complex carbohydrates are very, very hard for your body to break down. So because it is very hard to break down, it delays the process of spiking up your sugar level. Because it takes your body a very long time when you are consuming oat fiber, soluble fiber, it cannot break them down very easily. So that process is delayed. So even though you are eating them, it's not going to spike up your sugar level because it's going to take your body several hours to break them down. And when they finally breaks them down, the complex carbohydrate, do you know what it does? Those complex carbohydrates goes into your bloodstream and mop up the excess sugar in your bloodstream and then store them in your cells, in your muscles, in your liver. So it doesn't spike up your sugar level. So complex carbohydrate does two things. It delays the process of spiking up your sugar level because it's very hard to be breaking down. It takes a long hours for complex carbohydrate for your body to break them down. So it delays the process of spiking up your sugar level. So once you are eating them, it is not spiking up your sugar level because it takes your body a long period of time to break them down. And once they are finally broken down, it goes into your bloodstream and mop up the excess sugar that is in your bloodstream out of your bloodstream and then store them in your liver, in your cells, and then reintroduce it back into your bloodstream when you need it. So when you need more glucose or energy to do things, it's going to release some back into your bloodstream. And that is why it says choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate because of the metabolism. So let's go to the next one. Says reduce or eliminate alcohol drinks and never mix alcohol with a sugar-filled mixer, such as fruit juice. If you are a diabetic or if you are suffering from any illness, it is not advisable to be taking alcohol while taking your medication because they are going to interfere. Okay, so taking alcohol can cause you to have hypoglycemia or worsen the situation that you are going through. So stay away from alcoholic drinks while you are taking medications. Okay, and the next one says eat lean proteins. Yesterday, if you watched my video yesterday, I discussed about lean proteins. Google and find what food that fall into the category of lean proteins. I'll leave that for you to do the research. You can go to your Google and say what food what food are lean proteins. They are going to give you examples of food that fall into the category of lean proteins. Okay, so that is okay. And the next one says eat food that are high in soluble fiber. Okay, so this eat food that are high in soluble fiber is the same thing is choosing complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. Soluble fiber fall under the category of complex carbohydrate. They are very hard to be broken down, so it doesn't affect your sugar level even though you are consuming them. So these are the tips in managing your hypoglycemia. If you have to follow these tips, then it's going to help you to manage your hypoglycemia. I'm going to go back to the first tip. I'm going to go back to the first tip so that you'll be able to. Let's go back to the first tip. So this is the first tip that I shared with you guys before. It says eat small meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. So instead of you eating one large meal in a day or two large meal in a day, spread your meal within 24-hour period. Every 3 to 4 hours, eat a small meal. Every 3 to 4 hours, eat a small meal to keep your target range for your sugar levels. Okay, so now I'm going to get out of this window. Okay, I'm going to get out of this window because I have a lot to cover up. Okay, so those are the 4 tips where you are going to be watching me from. Let me see, Jen. Now I'm going to post. I'm going to post the tips again to help you guys. Um, the same tips. I'm going to post these tips again. Tips number 1 says these tips are to manage your hypoglycemia, the symptoms through dieting. How to manage your symptoms of hypoglycemia through dieting. Tip number 1 say eat small meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day, rather than 3 large meals per day. 2, avoid food that are high in saturated fat or trans fat. Yesterday, I did discuss about it. Avoid patronizing fast food joints. Avoid patronizing fast food joints. Okay? They are not helpful for you. 3, eat foods that are high in soluble fiber. Eat food that are high in soluble fiber. Those are the tips you have to follow. Eat food that are high in soluble fiber. Okay. I don't know if you guys are writing it down, but I'm going to leave it there. And then I'm going to go to the next. I'm going to go to this one. Number 4 says reduce or eliminate processed and refined sugar from your diet. Reduce or eliminate processed and refined sugars from your diet. Yesterday, I did mention about it also. Number 5 says reduce or eliminate alcoholic drinks and never mix alcoholic with sugar-filled mixers such as fruit juice. Okay. And then number 6 says eat lean proteins. Okay. So those are the tips. Okay. Those are the 6 tips that I just mentioned. Let's go back to number 1 and show you guys. This is tip number 1. Tip number 1, to go back there again. All right. So okay. So I hope you guys are following the trend. Okay, those are the tips. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, now I'm going to discuss about what to eat when you wake up. I'm going to discuss about what to eat when you wake up. What do you eat when you wake up is what I'm going to be discussing now. What to eat when you wake up. Okay? You guys have any question? Let me look at my YouTube and answer some question. All right, there's no question there. So let's talk about what to eat when you wake up. Okay, I'll keep going until uh, what to eat when you wake up. Let's discuss what to eat when you wake up. You should eat a small meal as soon as possible after waking up. Okay, eat a small meal as soon as possible after waking up. A good breakfast should consist of proteins. Okay, a good breakfast should consist of proteins such as scrambled eggs plus a complex carbohydrate. Remember, choose complex carbohydrate over a simple carbohydrate. So, what do you eat when you wake up? So, if you have a pen and paper, get it right now because if you have a pen and paper, get them right now so that I know people will be asking me, can you tell me what to eat, what not to eat? That is why most of the time I spend most of my time on dieting. It takes me a long time to sit down, work with my dietitian, work with the dietitian who that is not my field. I've said it before that I have to work with the dietitian. I have to give them ample time to prepare this for me so that I can present it to you guys. Okay, I'm on the medical field. I'm not a dietitian, so we have to work hand in hand. So a lot of people keep asking me what to eat, what to eat. Now, get your pen and paper so that you can write them down and then ask your questions now. Okay? And then ask your questions now. The first topic is what to eat when you wake up. Do you know what to eat if you're a diabetic and you'll be struggling that when I wake up, what do I eat? And then I said you should eat a small meal as soon as possible after waking up. A good breakfast should consist of protein, such as scrambled egg plus a complex carbohydrate. I've differentiated between a complex carbohydrate and a simple carbohydrate. It's up to you to now make a choice. Now let's try this. Number one, what to eat in the morning. Have a hard boiled egg. Okay, let me see if I can post it here. Uh, just let me see if I can post it, share it on the screen for you guys. All right, so I hope you guys can follow me along. What to eat when you wake up? You should eat a small meal as soon as possible after waking up. A good breakfast should consist of proteins such as scrambled egg plus a complex carbohydrate. Remember, there's a simple carbohydrate and a complex carbohydrate. I've explained the difference before. So this is what you're going to do in the morning. The first one is have a hard-boiled egg and a slice of whole grain bread with cinnamon. Several small studies indicate that cinnamon may help reduce blood sugar. So remember, you have to go on complex carbohydrate. What are the complex carbohydrates? I told you guys: brown rice, brown bread. Okay, brown bread, brown rice, all these fall under complex carbohydrate, or oat bread, wheat bread, whole grain bread. All those are complex carbohydrates. Now remember, it says have a hard-boiled egg and a slice of whole grain. See, whole grain bread. These are complex carbohydrates with cinnamon. Okay, uh, cinnamon. There are some videos that I posted on Living with Diabetes on the type of breads. There are different kinds of bread that I posted a video. I showed you guys different kinds of breads that fall under complex carbohydrate brown breads. If you watch that video on the Living with Diabetics page, there are videos that I dropped there. I went into a shop and I do some videos to show you guys different kinds of breads that fall under complex carbohydrate. If you can watch that video, that's going to give you a kind of idea the kinds of bread that you should look for. Now, your hard-boiled egg and a slice of a whole grain bread with cinnamon, okay, will be able to help you to lower your blood sugar level. Remember, it says the word slice of bread. So if you look at the bread, if you go and buy those sliced bread, if you go to the shop and you guys buy those sliced bread, look at the per serving of those sliced bread. I've seen some people, when they, instead of them taking about 1 or 2 slices of bread, they eat about 5, 6 slices of bread. It's too much for a diabetic. You cannot eat 5, 6 slices of bread at a go. No. And if you look at this here, it says a slice of whole grain bread. It didn't say 2 slices or 3 slices. It said a slice. So that slice is enough for what to eat when you wake up. He said eat a small meal. He didn't say eat a medium meal or a large meal. He said a small meal as soon as you wake up. After brushing your teeth, find something like a small meal. And it says a hard-boiled egg and a slice of whole grain bread, not a white bread. Stay away from white breads. With cinnamon, okay? So let's go to, I'm going to share the second screen, the continuation of this one. I'm going to share the next screen to continuation of this one. Let's go to the next. Okay. So the next one says a small serving of steel cut oatmeal. Okay. So it's either you take a hard egg bread with a slice of white whole grain, or you make an oatmeal. Okay, like this, protein packed oatmeal with a blueberries, sunflower seeds, and agave. So they are giving you 3 options here: a plain Greek yogurt with berries, honey meal, and oatmeal. So you could take this. It didn't say take all these 3 that I mentioned. It's any one of them. These are any one of them. You can either take this one in the morning, or take this one as an oatmeal, or you take a hard boiled egg. So I gave you 3 varieties of things to take in the morning. Okay. So in addition, be mindful of your consumption of juice. Okay. Remember, yesterday in my video, I told you guys about taking juice. Most of this processed juice in the shop have added sugar in them, so you got to stay away from it. Okay. So instead of going to the shop and buy those processed juice, go and buy orange juice and peel them and take. That is natural. But most of these juices, it says, you have to be mindful of consumption of juices because they are processed and they contain added sugar. Stick to 100% juice. You see, it says stick to 100% juice, variety that do not have added sweetener. Make sure they have no added sweeteners or sugar, and limit your intake to 4 to 6 ounces. Yesterday, when I did a video, I showed you guys the quantity of orange to take. If you watch the video that I did yesterday, I showed you guys the quantity of orange juice to take. It says stick to 100% juice varieties that do not have added sweeteners or sugar, and limit your intake to 4 to 6 ounces of orange juice. Not a full glass of orange juice, no. Because remember of the carbohydrate that it contains in it. Despite that, they say it must not contain any added sweetener. Still, some processed orange juice have some carbohydrate. That is why they say limit it to 4 to 6 ounces. Or you dilute the juice with water, or choose a big glass of water with a lemon instead. Yesterday, I did discuss about lemon. Okay, so it's either you dilute the orange juice with water, or you choose a glass of water with lemon in it. So this is what to eat in the morning. Okay, this is what to eat in the morning. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the first page of this. Okay, let's. Uh, so this is the first page. What I just finished discussing. This is what to eat when you wake up, and then the other page is the continuation. So I'm just sharing you guys how to manage your hypoglycemia with dieting. Okay, so all right, so you gotta be very careful with what you eat. Still cut oatmeal is slower in glycemic index than other type of oatmeals. Plus, it contains a lot of soluble fiber. Soluble fiber helps lower down carbohydrate absorptions, which helps keeps your blood sugar level stable. You know, why I'm just trying to explain to you about those oatmeals. Difference between complex carbohydrate and simple carbohydrate. I've differentiated both of them. Why you should choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. Those that are joining me now, you're going to wait till when I finish the video. Then you can start from the beginning and watch it. I've differentiated between complex carbohydrate and simple carbohydrate. So you have to, that's why they're giving you options of oatmeals. Okay, because oatmeal falls in the category of complex carbohydrate. Why? Because they are soluble fiber and they help slow down the carbohydrate absorptions. It's very hard to break down complex carbohydrate, thereby it keeps your blood sugar level stable. Then simple carbohydrate is very easy to break down and it spikes up your sugar level. So you go to choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrates. Now, when it comes to drinks, caffeine may affect your blood sugar in some people. Some people that take coffee, some of them that affect their blood sugar, some it doesn't affect their blood sugar. So you have to limit your caffeine intake. Instead of taking the raw coffee, always ask for decaffeinated. Go for decaffeinated coffee or a herbal tea may be your best option. Okay. If you have to take coffee, go for decaffeinated or look for a herbal tea. That may be your best bet for a hot breakfast drink. Okay. If you have to take caffeine, then you have to discuss that with your doctor. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. So this is what to eat in the morning. When you wake up, what to eat when you wake up. Now, what do you eat mid morning? Remember, I said you have to eat every 3 to 4 hours. You got to make sure you eat every 3 to 4 hours within 24-hour period if you are suffering from hypoglycemia or type 2 diabetes. Instead of eating one large meal at a go, make sure you spread your meal within 24-hour period. Every 3 to 4 hours, find something to eat. Now, I've shown you guys what to eat when you wake up, a light meal. Then what do you eat mid-morning? After you wake up, you've taken something, then you count 3 to 4 hours. What else again do you eat mid-morning? Is the next one we're going to discuss about. So let me get out of this. Inam, you are welcome. Inam, you are welcome. Ponfa, you are welcome. Good evening. How are you, Ponfa? You are welcome. Beverly, you are welcome. You guys are welcome. All right. So I've shown you guys uh, So we are discussing about diet for people that are suffering from low blood sugar hypoglycemia. Okay, so we've gone so far. So you guys gonna catch up later. Um, so let's. I've discussed about the tips. Okay, I've discussed about the tips. Uh, so I've discussed about the tips on how to manage your hypoglycemia through dieting. Okay, I've discussed about the tips of how to manage uh, your hypoglycemia through dieting. And then if you watch on the screen, what is scrolling across is the meaning of hypoglycemia. And I've explained what is hypoglycemia. I've explained to it what is hypoglycemia, uh, what it's all about. Now, um, tip number one, I'm just going to, before we go to the mid-morning snack, I'm just trying to let the people that are joining us now just have an idea. This is tip number one, how to manage your hypoglycemia through dieting. Tip number one says eat a small meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day rather than 3 large meals per day. And number two, say avoid food that are high in saturated fat or trans fat. And number three, say eat food that are high in soluble fiber. Okay, I'll go to the next one. It says number four, say reduce or eliminate processed or refined sugar from your diet. And number five, say reduce or eliminate alcoholic drinks and never mix alcoholic drink with sugar-filled mixture, such as fruits, juice. And number six says eat lean proteins. Okay, so it says eat lean proteins. So that is what we are discussing. Yeah, Beverly, happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. I hope Jamaica is good. Okay. Forgive me, Beverly. Beverly, I spell your name wrongly. Forgive me. It's a typo error. But okay, you don't understand what I'm talking about. So now let's talk about uh, let's talk about what do you eat mid morning. Okay, so I've given you guys what to eat when you wake up. Let's discuss about what you eat mid morning. What do you eat mid morning? Okay, so let me share you a screen of what you eat mid morning. Let me see. Uh, okay. Okay, this is what we are going to eat mid morning. Okay, try this healthy mid morning snack. So you know what to eat when you wake up. A light meal when you wake up. Okay, light meal when you wake up. Now, let's talk about mid-morning. Okay, fruit can be part of nutrition mid-morning snack. They are fibrous, provide beneficial vitamins and minerals, and contain natural sugar for energy. Okay, original fruit contains natural sugar for energy. It is best to pair fruit with proteins or healthy fat to sustain your fullness and keep your blood sugar level even. Having a whole grain fibrous carbohydrate paired with a protein or healthy fat is also a great option. Okay, so let's try these healthy mid-morning snacks. That is after you finish taking a small meal after you wake up. Now you are after 3 to 4 hours mid-morning. You want to try some snacks. Uh, among all these four, you're going to choose among all these four. Okay, which is best for you? A small apple with a cheddar cheese, a banana with a small handful of nuts or seeds, a piece of whole grain toast with an avocado or hummus spreads, a can of sandwich, a sardine or tuna with whole grain snackers plus a glass of low fat milk oil. Out of these four, you got to choose one that is best for you. Okay? Out of these four, you're going to choose one that is best for you. Okay? You're going to choose one that is best for you. So these are the snacks you're going to try mid-morning. This is a mid-morning option snack. Okay? To try. Do we have any question? I'm waiting for questions if you guys have any question. Do we have any question before we continue? So this is your mid-morning snacks. Okay, I believe this is helpful, give you a guidance of what to eat. This gives you a guidance of what to eat. Now we're going to proceed to lunch. What do you have for lunch? What do you have for lunch? We're going to proceed for lunch. A lunch plan. Let's see what you guys have for lunch. Once before I proceed, please reminder, if you have not subscribed to my page, kindly do so. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my page. If this is your first time coming into my page, please do not forget to subscribe to my page and invite your friends. Okay, invite your friends over, and I believe you are going to learn one or two things from this page on how to manage your diabetes, or if you're a caregiver, how to take care of your loved ones that are passing through these chronic illnesses. I entertain questions. So if anybody has questions, feel free to ask your questions, and I will respond to your questions. Okay. Anybody that wants to join me live, that wants to come into the room, okay, anybody wants to ask a question in the live video should send me a request, or send me a text, a message, and I'm going to invite that person. I'm going to send you a link to click, and then you come on board. If you want to join me live on this program, just send me a message on my comment sections that you want to come on live and chat up with me or ask your questions, and I'm going to send you a link, and then how for you to click and come on live video. All right, it's very simple. So if you've not subscribed to my page, kindly do so. Now we're going to be discussing about lunch. What is your lunch plan? I'm going to share a screen with you guys. A lunch plan. Let's go to a lunch plan. I'm going to share with you guys. So this is a lunch plan. If lunch typically means office takeout, opt for a tuna or chicken salad sandwich on whole grain bread with Romani lettuce. Okay, if you are packing your own lunch, here are some ideas. So any of these two can serve as your lunch. Remember, as we say that you're going to try to within 24-hour period, make sure you have food, something to eat every 3 to 4 hours within 24-hour period. Instead of you eating one large meal, two large meal per day, spread your meal every 3 to 4 hours, have something to eat. That keep you filled up and that keep your target range for your blood sugar level to be normal, to be in a normal position. You don't want your sugar level to dip or to go high. Okay, so that is why in this lunch plan, you can choose any of these is going to serve for you. Okay, a green salad topped with chicken, chickpeas, tomato, and other veggies, or a piece of grilled fish, a baked sweet potato, and a side salad, or a side of cooked veggies. Okay, a side of cooked veggies, if uh, if you can say it properly. Okay, a caution on potato. Let me make a caution on potato. All potatoes directly affect your sugar. Okay, a caution note on potato. All potatoes directly affect your blood sugar, but some are less impactful than the others. There are some potatoes that might not affect your blood sugar, and there are some potatoes that are going to affect your blood sugar. Uh, just a small portion of it. It's not going to spike it up too much. Okay, white, those white potatoes are highest on glycemic index, so you have to stay with any food that you are taking or try to buy, and the GI is too high. Stay away from it. Always buy food that have a low GI index. So the white potatoes are highest on the GX index. Okay, so followed by boiled white potatoes and then sweet potatoes. Okay, sweet potatoes are full of antioxidants and may help regulate insulin. So, what am I saying? Instead of the white potatoes, go for the sweet potatoes. They are full of antioxidants that may help to regulate your insulin. Okay, so there are some potatoes that may directly affect your blood sugar, and but there are some that are less harmful. Okay, than the other. So, and the white potatoes are the highest of the GS index, followed by the boiled potatoes, and then the sweet potatoes. We recommend that the sweet potatoes are full of antioxidants and may help regulate your insulin. If you have to go on the white potatoes, then try to boil it, or instead of boil it, you fry it. Okay, any of those two will be okay. So this is your lunch plan. Okay, a caution on the potato. All potatoes directly affect your blood sugar level, but some are less impactful than the others. There are some potatoes that might not spike up your sugar level, and there are some potatoes that might spike up your sugar level. But try to go on the sweet potatoes that are high and full of antioxidants that may help to regulate your insulin. Okay, so this is your lunch plan. Let me see who is watching from Botswana. Maps, you are welcome. Maps watching from Botswana, you are welcome. So now I've given you guys what to take when you wake up, the kinds of meal, a small meal to take up. We've discussed about it. I've shown you guys the plan. Then from what to take when you wake up, a small meal. I've also shown you guys after that you will have a mid-morning snack. A mid-morning snack. That comes after you wake up. After you've taken something, after you brush your teeth, you look for something small to take immediately after you finish work. You wake up and brush your teeth. Then 3 to 4 hours after that, we call it mid-morning snack. I've given you guys the plan, what to eat, mid-morning plan, and then now this is the lunch plan. Any of these things there, any of those two things there can serve you in your lunch. You're not going to eat both of them at the same time. You're going to choose one and then plan for your lunch. Now let's go down to the next one, which is I'm going to stop sharing this. Let's go to the next one. After lunch is your I'm going to correct something here. Before your lunch, okay, before your lunch, we're supposed to have mid-afternoon snack. Okay, before your lunch, I'm supposed to have discussed this one before discussing the lunch. So this one's supposed to come before the lunch. Remember, you have when you wake up, you have your meal as soon as you wake up, and you have your mid-morning snack. And then you're supposed to have your mid-afternoon snack before your lunch. So that's how it's supposed to go. So this one's supposed to come before the lunch. So your hard-working mid-afternoon snack could be a no-sugar variety of peanut butter on a whole wheat bread or crackers. Okay? If you are going to take crackers, be mindful. If you are going to take crackers that unsalted. They don't have any salt in them because most of the crackers come with salt. So if you are going to go on crackers, go for the unsalted crackers. You have to stay away from sodium for high blood pressure. So if you are going to go for crackers, it must be unsalted, not the salted crackers. Go for the one that has no salt. Okay, so either you go for a no sugary variety of peanut butter on a whole wheat bread, that's a brown bread, or crackers, or a cup of brown rice with kidney beans, or veggies and hummus. So out of these three can serve as your mid-afternoon snack before the lunch. So because remember what I said in the beginning. Let me see what. So are you saying that white fried potatoes are better than boiled? And how about butternut? Are you saying that fried potatoes are better than boiled? Yeah, it says, what I'm trying to say is that boiled potatoes, yeah, fried potatoes is better because from what, let me read what the nutritionist gave me. Let me read what she said. Okay, because I'm going according to the way she prepared it. So, I told you guys I'm on a medical field and I have to work with a nutritionist. We work hand in hand. So let me read what she said. It says all potatoes directly affect blood sugar level. Let me read what she write on potatoes so that I don't miss, because she's watching this program also. So I want to make sure I quote her directly right. All potatoes directly affect blood sugar, but some are less impactful than others. That means there are some potatoes that are not going to spike up your sugar level, and there are potatoes that are going to spike up your sugar level. Okay, that are less impactful than others. Now it says white russet potatoes are highest on the GI index. Okay, normally as a diabetic, you have to go for food that are lower, that have low GI index. That is the general terms of note. If you're a diabetic, you must go for food that are low in GI index. You don't go for something that are high in GI index. So what she says here is that white potatoes are highest on the GI index, meaning, and GI followed by boiled white potatoes. So if the russet white potatoes are high in GI index, then the next one is boiled white potatoes. They are lesser than the ones that are not boiled. So she's saying that potatoes that are not boiled are high in GI index. Then the ones that are boiled are lesser in the GI index. And then she says sweet potatoes are the lowest. So we have the white potatoes high in the GI index. That is not good. The boiled one is less in the high GI index, okay? But the one in the lowest bottom is the sweet potatoes. She said, look at what she says in the sweet potatoes. He said the sweet potatoes are full of antioxidants and may help you regulate your insulin. So among all these three, I will go for the sweet potatoes because the sweet potato is going to help me to regulate my insulin that I need in regulating my blood sugar levels. So among these three, among the white potatoes and the sweet potato, I will go for the sweet potato because the sweet potato has antioxidant that may help to regulate your insulin. Now, if you are going to go on the white potatoes, instead of going on the potatoes that are not boiled, I'll go for the one that are boiled because they are at least a little bit lower on the GI index than the ones that are not boiled. So instead of the white potato, to answer your question, you're saying, sir, you are saying that the white fried potatoes are better than boiled potatoes. Because why I say the fried potatoes are better than boiled potatoes, when you fry your potatoes, okay, you are draining all those starches that are in them than those ones that you boil. When you boil them, those ones that are still boiled still contain some carbohydrate in them. When you boil those potatoes, when you fry those potatoes, you are, let me use the word. I don't know which word I'm going to use. Hold on. Let me send her an email. Let me not misquote her. Just hold on. Let me say that she's watching this program. Hold on. I want to send her an email so that she can clarify this for me. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, this is what she said. Let me read what she said. Maps. It says, potato. It says, baking. Remember what she said? It said baking, boiling, and steaming potatoes are the best choice in terms of minimizing their fat and calorie content. Okay, compared to the ones that you fry. So to answer your question, he said baking, boiling, and steaming potatoes are best choice in terms of minimizing their fat and calories compared to frying. Say for that, instead of frying potatoes, if you are going to fry potatoes, okay, frying potatoes uh, amount to additional fat that you don't need. So to answer your question, Maps, uh, boiled potato, baked potato, steaming potato, are better choice than, because they minimize the fats and calories. When you fry the potatoes, you are adding amount of fat to you. So I hope I've answered that question. Okay. Yep. Because I'm reading from what she said in her presentation. I have to read word to word. So I think, okay. So let's move on. Now, as I said, what is on the screen here, the mid-afternoon snack supposed to come before the lunch. I've done the presentation of the lunch. So this your mid-afternoon snack supposed to come before the lunch. So among these three things listed here, you're going to choose one. You're not going to eat all the three. You're going to choose one among those three things that are listed there and that can serve for your snack. Now I'm going to go. There's something I'm going to post. Why you see I'm spacing while we did what to eat when you wake up, what to eat your mid-morning, your mid-afternoon, and then the lunch. I'm going to go back a little bit. There's something I'm going to share with you guys here while we are doing all this today. Let me go back in the beginning. I shared something. Okay. This is why, remember, this is why we are spacing our food every 3 to 4 hours. Look at the tips. Number one tips. Because I'm discussing the diet for people suffering from hypoglycemia. Okay. And if you look at the screen there, the one that is scrolling, it tells you what is hypoglycemia. And I've tried to explain in the beginning of the video, not everybody that is diabetics, you must not be diabetics to suffer from hypoglycemia, low blood sugar level. There might be other certain conditions that may be affecting you to have low blood sugar, even though you are not diabetic. So, and now we are discussing the dieting, how to manage your low blood sugar, and this is the tips. That is why it says, you see, we are spreading it. Why? That's why you're going to have, as soon as you wake up in the morning, there's something to grab. After you finish brushing your teeth, you take a slight meal, then your mid-morning, your mid-afternoon, and then your lunch. It says, eat small meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day, rather than 3 large meals per day. You see, that is why you see we are spacing it. So if you take your, that's why I just want to show you something, those that are watching me now. Now I'm going to go back again. Okay. Eat your meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day instead of eating, 2-3 large meals in a day, because you have to space your meal every 3 to 4 hours within 24-hour period. And I'm going to go back again before we go to the next one. Let me share something here, what to eat. Okay. Now, this is where we started before we arrived at the lunch. What to eat when you wake up. This is what to eat when you wake up. Okay. This is the first page. And I'm going to go to I'm just doing brush up for those that just joined me. What to eat when you wake up. A hard-boiled eggs, this and that. Okay. Whole grain with cinnamon. Let me go to the next page, the continuation of this page. And let me see. So this is the continuation of what to eat when you wake up. Okay. So this is the continuation, the final part of it. And then the mid-morning, and then the mid-afternoon, and then the lunch part of it. So now we are going to go to the dinner. Now is the lunch. What are you supposed to have on the dinner? Okay, let's go to see what we are going to have on the dinner. So this is your dinner. Your dinner says keep your evening meal as small as other meals. Dinner is good time to eat some protein and complex carbs. This simple to make lentil and quinoa soup provide boost, plus it's lifting, it's filling and delicious. Sprinkle on some, Parmesan cheese, or have some glass of low fat milk or skim milk on the side. So when you are having your dinner is supposed to be a simple meal, small meal. You don't eat a large meal. And then after dinner meal, we're going to have a bedtime meal. I'm going to show you guys a bedtime meal. That is what if you are, bedtime meal before you go to sleep. So your dinner, you're supposed to keep your dinner simple, small. Remember, you are eating every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. So that's going to keep you filled up. So then your bedtime meal is what is going to follow up now. I'm going to show you guys the bedtime meal. All right, so this is your dinner. Let's go out of this. I'm going to go back to that mid-afternoon meal. There's something I missed on that mid-afternoon meal. Let me go back. There's something I missed there. There's something I missed. There's something I missed on that mid-afternoon. I'm going to go back to this mid-afternoon meal. Okay. All right. I believe you guys understand this mid-afternoon meal. Choosing a complex carbs and then a simple carb. I've differentiated between a complex carb and a simple carb. I've given you guys an example of complex carb, why they say choose complex carbs, and I'm going to go to okay, before I proceed to the bedtime, something I want to share with you guys again, because it's keep coming up. Let me go to, all right, let me share this. All right, I want you guys to look at this here. This is the tips. Okay, this is the tips. Let me go to, I'm going to share. This is one tip one. The same thing I'm sharing here is what is shown on the screen here. This is one. This what I'm sharing on the screen is the part 2. What I'm sharing on the screen is the part 2. What is on the blue? What is highlighted on the blue is part 1. What is highlighted on the blue is part 1, and what is I'm sharing on the screen is part 2. Now, if you go to number 1, say eat a small meal every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day, rather than eating 3 large meals per day. 2, say avoid food that are high in saturated fat or trans fat. I've told you guys about patronizing fast food joints because most of their food is being prepared with saturated fat and trans fat. They are there for profit making and they are not there for quality. So that is why I say once in a while you can cheat by going to fast food joint, but do not patronize fast food joint all the time because of the saturated fat, trans fat they are using in preparing their meals. And then eat food that are high in soluble fibers. Okay, remember this word: eat food that are high in soluble fibers. I'm trying to number 3: eat food that are high in soluble fibers. let's go to what is on screen. I'm sharing on the screen. Go to the second one. Say choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. Those that I've explained it in the beginning of this video, what is complex carbohydrate and what is simple carbohydrate. Why did they say choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate? Let me repeat it once again. Simple carbohydrate are those carbohydrates that can be easily broken down. As soon as you are eating it, your body breaks them down easily. And then remember your carbohydrate, once you consume them, it converts them into glucose, sugar again, and dump them into your bloodstream. So if you consume food that are simple like carbohydrate, as soon as you are eating it, your body is already breaking them down and then dumping the glucose into your bloodstream and then spike up your sugar level very high. That is why they say choose food that are high in complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. Now, complex carbohydrate are those food that your body cannot break down easily. It takes your body several hours to break them down, and because it delays in breaking down those complex carbohydrates, it does not affect your sugar level. It does not spike up your sugar level. So even though you are eating them, it takes your body several hours to break them down. And when it finally breaks down those complex carbohydrates, and it goes into your bloodstream and mop up all the excess sugar in your bloodstream and then store them into your liver, into your cells, and then release them back into your bloodstream when you need it. That is why they say choose complex carbohydrates over simple carbohydrate. And that is why I said number 3 says, the one is highlighted under the blue says, eat food. So food that are high in soluble fiber are complex carbohydrates. Food that are high in soluble fiber, whole grain, oats, grains, these are complex carbohydrates. Like legumes, brown rice, brown bread, broccoli, whole wheat bread, these are complex carbs. Your body does not break them down easily. Okay, so that is why I have to go back to this screen again to share it with you guys for you to understand what I'm talking about. So I'm going to close in this and I'm going to get out of this and let's go back to bedtime. So now you guys have understood your bedtime. You guys understood your mid-afternoon snacks. So we're going to go to, we've talked about the lunch, we've talked about the dinner. So now we're going to talk about bedtime snack. Let's talk about your bedtime snack. Okay, let me share with you guys your bedtime snacks. Okay, so this is your bedtime before you go to bed. So after your dinner, now this is your bedtime snack, something you can have before going to bed if you feel like having it. Okay, so eating a light snack close to bedtime will help keep your blood sugar stable throughout the night hours. So you try this, a high protein, low sugar brand of Greek yogurt coupled with berries and walnuts, or a no sugar vegetable smoothie. So any of these things can serve as your bedtime snack. Okay, any of these things can serve as your bedtime snack. I'm not getting any question today. Everybody's asleep or what? That makes it easy for me. If I'm not getting any question, it means you guys are learning. So it makes it very easy for me to keep going. All right, so that's good for me. So this is your bedtime snacks, what your bedtime snack should look like. I have 20 minutes more to round up. So okay. So bedtime snack. Let's talk about what to eat before you exercise. What do you eat before you exercise? Okay, what do you eat before you exercise? All right. Okay. All right. So, what to eat before your exercise? All right. So, I'm going to remove this I'm going to remove this screen now and then go back to the full screen. What do you eat before your exercise? Okay, let me see what she wrote here. Physical activities lowers blood sugar. So having a snack before exercising is a must. So physical activities lowers your blood sugar. Yes, but you got to be mindful. If you're diabetics, you must not do a excessive physical exercise. You have to do light exercise. Don't mind me. I go for physical. I go for intensive exercise. Okay, I go for intensive exercise. I've tried limiting, do minus small exercises, but because if I don't do intensive exercise, I don't feel it. So I have to go. I have to push myself to the limit. I have to go to the optimal utmost limits to feel the impact. So, but as a diabetic, they prefer you to do a lighter exercise because if you do a intensive exercise, that can also make you to have your sugar level might fluctuate to drop. Okay, so physical exercise lowers your blood sugar level. So having a snack before exercise is a must. Try to have a snack for exercise. So before working out, grab a high protein snack with carbohydrates. Good choice include. So now you are going to go to do exercise. You can have carbohydrate. Remember, carbohydrate is energy. It's glucose. So because you're gonna put yourself into physical intensive exercise or lighter exercise, that is when you need carbohydrate to give you that energy to push. Because at the end of the day, you're going to burn them out. But if you are not exercising, don't go and take simple carbohydrate because it's going to spark up your sugar level. So now that you are going to go into exercising, grab some food, high protein snack that has carbohydrate in them. Because at the end of the day, you're going to burn it out. But you need that extra energy to do that exercise. Then examples are like fruit and crackers. Okay, what to eat before exercise: fruit and crackers. And I keep emphasizing, Pomfa, I cannot give you a list of all the food. No, sorry, I can't give you. If you have been following me right from day one, I've been giving you guys some of the food. You know, I've been giving you guys some of the food, and then if you've been following me from day one by now, those that have been following by now, you're supposed to know the kinds of food to eat. But I'm not going to give you all the kinds of food for diabetes. It's not possible. But if you've been following me right from day one, and from the things I'm saying, you should be able to figure out, okay, these are the kinds of food we need, and these are not the kinds of food we eat. So, but there's no way I'm going to write down all the kinds of food. It is impossible. But there are millions and millions, all kinds of food. And again, one thing again, you are in Nigeria, I'm not there. The kinds of food that might be here, you might not find it in Nigeria. And there's a kinds of food that are in Nigeria that we cannot find here. So your region might be different. But I'm here to give you a guidance. So from what I'm trying to say, you should be able to know, okay, in my location, I don't need to eat this kind of. When I say eat, like carbohydrate, simple carbohydrate, I said don't eat food that are high. Choose food that are complex in carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. And I've given you guys some examples of carbohydrates, complex, like brown rice, brown bread, legumes, lentils, broccoli. Those are complex carbohydrates. Whole grain wheat, those are complex carbohydrates. Then you should be able to know, okay, now I have an idea. When I go to market, I should look for something like that, similar to that. And I said, stay away from saturated food or trans fat. And I said, do not stop patronizing fast food joint. You should be able to know, okay, because most fast food joint, finger licking, Mr. Biggs, all those things, they use saturated fat. They are there to make money. They are not there to satisfy your personal health needs. So that means I'm going to stop going to Mr. Biggs. I'm going to stop going to a KFC. Once in a while, you can take your children and patronize them once in a while. But most of their food, they use saturated fat, oil, and it's not good for you. That is why I say stop patronizing them. That should give you an idea. Okay, now I understand what he's trying to say. Okay, I'm going to limit not to go there. But you don't expect me to give you word by word this kind of food. It's not possible. Then when I talk about simple carbohydrate, they say choose complex carbohydrate over simple carbohydrate. And I've given you guys example of simple carbohydrate. What does that mean? That your body can break down simple carbohydrate very easily. As soon as you're eating them, it converts them to glucose and spike up your sugar level. And I've given you guys an example several times. Like yam. Yam is full of simple carbohydrate have a lot of carbs in them. As soon as you eat 2 slices of yam, 3 slices of yam, you see that you are rushing to the washroom because your body can break down those carbohydrates easily. White rice, we've said this several times about white rice. Stay away from white rice, stay away from white bread. Those are simple carbohydrates. Semolina, stay away from them. Cornmeal, stay away from them. Those are simple carbohydrates. Fufu, those are simple carbohydrates. So I don't know what more you want me to write them down for you. Sorry, I cannot do that. You should be able to learn from the time you've been following me to know the kinds of food to avoid and the kinds of food not to avoid. Okay, and in my video, there are a lot of videos on my page that you can go there and watch and refresh your brain. But if you tell me, give you all kinds of all the food, even the dietitian that I'm using, she can only give me few, but when she's lecturing me, I listen. That's not my field. I'm on a medical field. But when I go to her and we sit down and we talk, when she's lecturing me, I should be able to add 1 + 1 and know what she's talking about. You see this thing I'm presenting to you guys now, this topic I'm doing now, I requested it in June 2nd, and I got it yesterday. So nobody's going to sit down. Even your doctor cannot give you all the list of food to avoid. It's not possible. Your doctor can only guide you and tell you, avoid this food, avoid this food. It's left for you now to do your research or follow my guidelines and know the kinds of food to avoid and the kinds of food not to avoid. Naomi, you're welcome. Okay, Naomi, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question, Naomi. Just exercise patience. I'm trying to answer Pomfa question. So Pomfa, even the doctor that is treating you cannot even give you all the food that you must eat. No. So if you are following my page and my teachings since day one, you should be able to figure it now, the kinds of food to avoid and the kinds of food to take. Okay, so that's all I can do for you, but I cannot give you all the foods. It's not possible. If you want me to give you all the food, then I'll send you the bill. Then if you pay, then I will give you. And then I know that's a special request. Then I will now spend some time and get you all the food that you can eat. All right, but I'm here just to guide you guys. That's all I can do. All right, so let's continue with what to eat before exercise. Let me answer this lady's question now. Naomi says, can I take supplement while taking metformin? And Naomi, your question is not full. It depends on the kind of supplement you are talking about. It depends on the kind of supplement you are talking about that might not interfere with your medication. So you have to be specific what you mean by supplement. There are supplements that if there are some like vitamins, minerals, that's okay. You can take them. If you're talking about supplement like vitamin C supplement, vitamin D supplement, vitamin K supplement, vitamin B1 supplement, B2 supplement, that are okay. You can take them. They cannot interfere with metformin. Okay, so that are okay. But if there are certain supplements that are in form of medications also, those ones you have to discuss with your doctor if they can interfere with your metformin. But if you are talking about supplement like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin B12, B1, B6, those are okay. They will not interfere with your metformins. I also take some supplements, if I need it. So that are okay. But if there are particular supplements that are in form of medications or herbs, those ones I would suggest you speak to your doctor and show your doctor the particular supplement if it is going to interfere with your metformin. I hope I've answered your question. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Now, one thing again, Naomi, or let me say one thing again, Naomi, is most people that are taking metformin, okay, that have type 2 diabetics, most of them have deficiency in vitamin B12. Most people that are taking metformin and they have type 2 diabetics, most of them, you see 1 in 10 of them that have deficiency in vitamin B12. So if you are taking metformin and you have type 2 diabetes, I will suggest you take vitamin B12 or try to discuss with your doctor if to test you for vitamin B12 if you have it. If not, then you have to get vitamin B12 to take because most people taking metformin and they are type 2 diabetes have deficiency in vitamin B12. So if you are not sure of your vitamin B12, ask your doctor to test you for vitamin B12 and see if you can take vitamin B12 to supplement that deficiency. All right. Map said, do cloves help regulate blood sugar? You know, the names you guys use, there's somebody that asked me something, but I said I don't know it. The names they use in Africa is it's different than we use here. But when I search it, I said, what that person talking? I think that was yesterday. Somebody gave me a name. I said, what are you talking about? Then when I searched that name after my program, I said, oh, is that what the person mean? Because the names you guys use there in different from the names here, but except when I ask questions and I say, okay, this is what she meaning. So when you say cloves, I've not heard about that name cloves. So you're gonna do me a favor. Maybe I'm gonna find. Let me look at my medical journal and find what you mean. Except you're gonna explain to me what does cloves. I've not heard about that name in my medical journal, so I've never have to find out what close means. Uh, let me look at my medical journal to know what you mean medically close. I know it's a type of a type of plant herbs. So it's telling me it's a plant herbs. It's a flower bud aromatic plant. Okay, now I know what they're talking about. You know, that was it. The names you guys are talking there, the names you guys are using there is different from the names used. I know what they're talking about now. So, Now I know what you're talking about, but these are herbs. These are herbs. Uh, does your clothes comes in a tea bag? These are herbs. One thing, one thing with me about taking herbs. Okay, these are plant-based herbs. Okay, these are plant-based herbs. Um, perhaps I'm going to answer your question this way. I, for once, I don't encourage taking any herbs that has not been medically regulated. I don't recommend it. I don't prescribe it. Taking any herbs that are not medically regulated. Okay. So if it works for you in regulating your sugar level, that's fine. Because I'm looking at the medical journal here, it is not regulated. Okay. It is not regulated, but from what they say yes, it's good for diabetes. So when I look at the medical journal, it is not regulated, but they say it is good for diabetics. Uh, according to people that have taken it, a teaspoon of it, can help to regulate your sugar level. So you can take it in form of herbs. You can take it in form of a tea, okay, to reduce your sugar level. But you cannot take some of them. You can eat it raw. Okay, some of them they can eat it raw. But one thing you cannot eat a whole raw of cloves. It is too much. But one thing I'm looking at it is that when I go and look, if any have any herbs that are not regulated, I don't I don't I don't recommend it. So if the cloves helps you to regulate your sugar level, fine. As long as you don't have any side effect, that's okay. But I, for one, I'm not going to recommend it for anybody. If it is medically regulated, yes, I can say yes. But from what I'm seeing on the journal here, it is not regulated medically. So that one, but according to what they're saying, yes, people that take it say yes, it helps them to relieve or regulate their sugar level. Okay, so MAPS, if it helps you to regulate your sugar level without any side effect, then go ahead with it. But medically, I cannot recommend it for anybody to go and take since it's not medically regulated. That's all I have to say. But from what I'm seeing from the journal, from people that have taken it, they say yes, it helps them to control their sugar level. Some eat it raw, some eat it in terms of like tea, but you cannot eat a whole cup. You can't eat a whole. If you eat a whole of it, you're going to have a side effect on it. So that's what I have to say on that. Maps. I hope I've answered your question on that. Hold on, I'm going to write something. Um, this is what maps. This is what I'm going to post here for you to see. That's for maps. Maps. That is for you there. That's what they say there. That's what I see on the medical journal there. So it's up to you. Uh, Ruth says which herbs are medically good for diabetics. There are there are there are there are, there are hundreds of them, thousands of them that herbs that are good for diabetics, like cinnamon herbs. I'm going to give you like cinnamon herbs are good for diabetics. They come in different forms. You can take cinnamon herbs like a tea. You can mix them in your food. So cinnamon herbs. chamomile herbs, the chamomile tea. We have the chamomile tea. They can come in form of herbs. They are also good in regulating your sugar level. We have turmeric. Turmeric comes in form of herbs. Okay, Ruth, I'm answering your question. Okay, they can come in form of turmeric, take in form of a tea. Okay, chamomile tea. Okay, comes in different varieties. You can take it as a form of a tea or herbs. Okay, we have garlic. All those are herbs. Okay, ginger tea. All those are herbs. It depends the way you prepare it. There are some cinnamon tea that are medically good. They have been, medically approved. Chamomile tea, medically approved, that are here, people use here. Turmeric tea that are medically approved, people here use to, control their sugar level in terms of tea. Okay. We have the turmeric, we have the chamomile tea, we have the cinnamon tea, we have the garlic, we have the ginger. Most of them here are medically approved. Even before people start using it. You go in some pharmacy here, you see them here medically approved to use. You can see ginger tea and lemon medically approved, mixed together. All those are herbs, and they are fruit also. Mix them all together. You see cinnamon tea herbs mixed with raspberry, from different companies. They use them as herbs to regulate their blood sugar. So there are lots and lots and lots of them that you can use. Okay, so chamomile, we have the cinnamon, we have the turmeric, okay, we have the garlic with ginger, crushed together. There are lots of them there. If you go to pharmacy there, a lot of companies are producing them. Very cheap. You can use in form of tea, used to prepare your meals. Use them to prepare your eat your salad mixing, as terms of topping. So there are most of them that have medically approved to be used as herbs to regulate your sugar level. Okay, so maybe in one of these days I'm going to buy them. In fact, Ruth, you give me an assignment. I'm going to go and get them in the shop, buy them one by one, and do a video. And I'm going to show you guys these are medically approved herbs. All those ones that I mentioned that you can use to regulate your sugar level. But anything that is not regulated medically to approve, I don't go for it because of the side effect or any damages. And if there's anything happens, I know the company to go after. Okay, so that is it. Now, somebody asked me a question. Pomfa, let me see your question. My sugar level of today is 5.4, but I feel headache. What could be here? Your sugar level today 5.4 is okay. 0.5, very good, very good. 5.4 is okay. You feel headache, what could be the cause? All right, 5.4 is okay, but it may. Have you eaten this morning? Have you taken anything? Have you taken? I know that's almost 8 p.m. in Nigeria now. 7:30 in Nigeria. 7:30. Have you eaten? Have you eaten? Because sometimes your sugar level might be okay, but you've not eaten and then you are having some headache. Have you eaten? Ponfa? Ruth, I hope I've answered your question. Yes, Ruth, yes, yep. Inam, okay, hold on. Yes, Inam, you can use your artificial sweetener to mix. If, for instance, if you want to take your coffee because you don't like the taste, you can use artificial sweeteners, but make sure the artificial sweeteners you're using are all 000. There are some artificial sweeteners that are not zero. Make sure the one you are using have 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 carbohydrate in it. Okay, make sure the sweeteners we are using are all 0. Some of them, they are sweeteners, but they are not 0. So you have to look at the content, the labeling to make sure everything is 0. So if you're going to use a sweetener, divide it into two. If you're going to mix it with your, say, green tea or your chamomile tea or your coffee, don't use the whole, that one pack, okay? That one pack, all right? That one pack, if you open that one pack, don't use all of them. You can use half of it to mix your drink and then keep the remaining half for the next one. Okay? But make sure when using your sweetener, look at the content that everything there is zero. Because some of the sweeteners are not zero, zero, zero. You know, everything they still some, so they still have some calories in them, have some sugar in them. So make sure the sweetener you're using, everything is zero. And when you want to use one sachet, use half of it. Don't use all the half, the one sachet. Divide into two, use one and keep the half of the next drink. Okay. Now let's go to Pomfa's question. Pomfa says our blood sugar is 5.4. Any other? Keep sending the questions, please. Keep sending the questions. Somebody send me a question now. Let me see. Okay, Panfa, you say your blood sugar level is 5.4, but I feel headache. Yes, your blood sugar is normal. There are a couple of things that might be causing you to have headache. One, stress. Okay, you might be having some stresses. Weather change. Maybe there's a weather changes. You know, weather change. Either hot, the weather is very very hot in your area. It's not raining, mild with humidity in it. Might have you to have headache. So number one is stress. Number two is weather changes. Number three is allergies. Maybe you're having some allergies on the kind of food you eat, or the allergy in the environment on the what is in the air. There's some pollens in the air. Okay. Some food sensitive. Maybe there's a kind of food that you eat that your body doesn't like. You are sensitive to certain food that might be contributing you to have headache, despite that your blood sugar is okay. But the number one thing you have to check is your stress level. If your stress level is too high, then it might, even though your blood sugar is normal, you might have some headache. And again, if your also your high blood pressure, if your high blood pressure is high, that might also contribute to have headache while your sugar level is normal. Okay. What again? Illness or some hormone changes. Maybe you are in your menstrual period. You are in your menstrual period, and then your blood sugar is okay. That can also contribute you to have headache. So, so that are some of the reasons why you are having headache. I hope I have answered your question, Ponfa. I hope I've answered your question, Ponfa. When I'm not getting any questions, Ponfa, this is for you. Okay, and then Ruth asked me a question. Let me see. Okay, Ruth asked me a question. Let's see. Uh, okay, so where are we now? I was discussing something about exercise. I was discussing about the exercise before I start getting questions. So let's conclude on what to eat before exercise. What to eat before exercise is, um, I said fruit and crackers. And this says the crackers you're going to eat, make sure your crackers are not salted because most of the crackers have salt. So if you're going to eat crackers, make sure it's unsalted. So we're discussing about what to eat before exercise, and I say fruit and crackers, but make sure that your crackers is unsalted, not salted ones. Okay, grab a high protein snacks with carbohydrate before you go to gym or start doing exercise, because you need that carbohydrate to give you the energy to complete your physical activities. And number two is say Greek yogurt and berries. Either you take fruit and crackers or take Greek yogurt and berries. In fact, let me just let me just post it here for you guys. What to eat. Okay. So this is what to eat before you exercise. Okay. This is what to eat before you exercise. Okay, so have a snack before exercise is a must. Before working out, grab a high protein snack with a carbohydrate. Good choices include fruit and crackers, Greek yogurt with berries, apples with peanut butter, a small handful of raisin and not peanut butter, and jelly sandwich on a whole grain bread. Just make sure not to eat a large meal before exercising. Include a glass of water too. So, so this is what to eat before you exercise. Uh, I'm going to give you guys example of so let's go to yes, Alex, you're welcome. Alex, you're welcome. Alex has a question. Says, what is the best level for sugar level? Is gymming on treadmill good for diabetics? Yep, yep, yep. Yes, you gymming. Treadmill. Yes, you like. I'm going to give you an example. Like me, if I go to gym, let me answer that question. It's a very nice question. That's a very important question, Alex. When I go to gym, I spend 2 hours in a gym. I spend 2 hours in a gym Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday. I spend 2 hours on these days. Out of 5 weeks, Monday, I spend 2 hours in a gym. Wednesday, 2 hours in a gym. Friday, 2 hours in a gym. Then Tuesday and Thursday, I spend 1 hour each in a gym. That's how I do my gym. Now, when I go to gym, okay, I have to spend 30 minutes on treadmill. So I'm answering your question for Alex. Treadmill is very, very good. If you are going to exercise, make sure you involve treadmill. Before I start my whole routine for exercises, if I walk into a gym, I have to spend 30 minutes on treadmill, physical intensive running. because when you're on treadmills, it helps you to burn the calories out. You sweat it out. That is where in a treadmill is when you're going to burn all the calories out, burn all the fat out, because that is when you're going to be running. Then when you go into the gym room there, you are not running, you are just exercising with the equipment. Yes, you are going to be expelling some calories, energy, fat, but it's not going to be intensive as when you're on treadmill. So in treadmill is when you do the rigorous exercise, because there is when you burn everything out. You are sweating, you are burning the calories out, you are burning the fat out, you are working on all the muscles in your body. And then your heart. That is where you test your heart, because you must make sure you have a healthy heart in that treadmill. Because if you have a healthy heart, that is when you are or if you have a healthy heart, that is when you are burning all these clogged arteries for your bad cholesterol, because your arteries has been blocked by all those lipids. Okay. Now, when you are breathing, you are unclogging them, you are burning them out, you are opening the arteries out, you are making your heart to function properly in order to pump the blood at a normal rate to your brain. So in treadmill is when you do the most exercising. If you can spend 1 hour on the treadmill, better. That is where you do the most rigorous exercise before you go into the gym and start lifting the equipment here and there. Okay? So treadmill, it is fantastic. It is good for diabetics. And the equivalent for treadmill is walking. Like those that are in Africa, you walk, you have to walk about 1 kilometer to the market and 1 kilometer back. You have to walk about 1 kilometer to the farm and 1 kilometer back. So those walking, you are burning. You are burning those things out. Okay, you have to walk about 1 kilometer to go to the stream to fetch water, or go to the farm to get firewood. Those are the equivalent of treadmill for those that cannot afford treadmill at home, or that cannot afford to have a gym membership. So if you don't have money to have those ones, then you can just make sure you walk about 1 or 2 kilometers every day. Okay, these are the equivalent of walking. All right, so that is good. Now the best level for your sugar level, make sure your sugar level, the best level for sugar level. The best level for your sugar level is, make sure your sugar level is between 4.5 to 6. Keep it. If it is 7, 7 is okay because it's on the borderline. But why I don't want to stretch it to 7 is that if I say make sure your sugar level is between 4.5 and 7, you'll be carried away and allow your sugar level to go above 7. So I try to tell everybody, make sure your sugar level is between 4.5 to about 5.5 to 6. So if you forget and carry the weight, it goes to 6.5, then at least you have about one more percent to come back to your senses, to make sure I'm approaching to the borderline. I have to make sure I bring it back. So your best sugar level is supposed to be between 4.5 and 6. If you have it between that range, anything between that range, or between 4.5 and 7, let it be in between 4.5 and 7. Okay. In my next video, let me make it in my next, on the weekend, on Sunday, I'm going to show you guys I'm going to put my lab test, the last 3-month test I did. I'm going to put it online here. So for next Sunday, I'm going to put it online. You guys can see how it is measured. Because some people that have been sending me their blood work from Africa, when they bring it here, I can't even understand what they are writing. I cannot even understand what they are writing. Because the way you guys tabulate your reading there is different from the way we do it here. So next Sunday, I'm going to put my blood work online. You guys, in fact, even if you don't go to school, by mere looking at it, you can understand what it's saying. So I'm going to put it online so you see how we do it here. You can interpret it very fast. So your blood sugar level is supposed to be between 4.5 and 6 or 7. Make sure it doesn't cross 7. That's the normal sugar level, okay? I hope I've answered your question. Um, Last, stay away from corn, please. Stay away from anything corn. Corn contains a lot of starch and carbohydrate. Stay away from corn, please. Okay? Stay away from corn. Um, Ponfa, you say what? Ponfa says, what is the normal blood sugar level after eating? Um, Ponfa, I've answered your question. Then somebody was asking me, answering your questions. I'm not answering questions. Uh, uh, Alex, Alex, you asked me a question about corn. I say stay away from it about corn. Okay, and I still maintain that. Uh, you can eat. Look at what it says. Yes, it says yes. Corn can be included as part of healthy diet for diabetes. That is good for source of fiber and other nutrients. However, look at the second part. Those Alex, you say if you can eat fresh corn. But look at the second part. It says, however, it is important to pay attention to portion sizes. Okay, so that is why uh, you can eat corn, but portion size. The amount of corn you eat can escalate your sugar level to go high. because it contains a lot of carbohydrate in it. Okay, and the type of corn consumed. So that is why I have tried it several times. I've used myself as an example. I've tried it several times, at least 3 times, and then the experience was so bad, and that's why I say no. Even if I take a smallest part of the corn, cut it into four, a whole corn, even if I cut it into four and take one piece and eat, it sparks up your sugar level very fast. So so that is why I say stay away from corn, because it contains a very high carbohydrate. It contains a simple carbohydrate, despite that it has a source of fiber, but you got to be very careful. That's why they say, however, it is important to pay attention to portion sizes. So you got to very careful. You got to very, very, uh, very. Do we have more questions? I believe everybody is asleep. Everybody is asleep now. Okay, so I can't do second topic today. Do we have any more questions before we call it a day? All right. For those, first of all, let me give thanks to those that have been sending me stars. I really appreciate it. Those that have been supporting the page, sending stars over to me, I really, really appreciate it. That shows you guys you appreciate and learning from the teachings that I've been given. So I'm going to give shout out to those that have been sending stars to say thank you for the things that they have been sending across. Okay, and for those that are yet to send stars, there's no problem. Um, if you are finding it very difficult on how to send stars, uh, there's a caption scrolling across the screen there. If you go to my page, if you go to my page, on any video on my page, okay, on any video in my page, you see where it says like, comment, and share. You will see a star icon. It's either you see a star icon next to comment or underneath the comment section or the like button or the share button. You're going to see, or next to comment, you're going to see a star icon. You see the diagram of a star? You're going to see it. If you cannot see star icon, you're going to see something they write give or support. You're going to see something say give or support. click on that button. Either you see a star button next to comment, like, or share in the same row or underneath it, or you see where it says give or support, just click on that button. It's going to direct you to a page, Facebook page, where you can buy star, any amount of star you want to buy, and then send. So that is how you can buy stars and send. So for those that have been sending me star, I really, really appreciate it. I'm compiling the name. I'm waiting for a certain number of the name. I'm going to just publish it and say thank you guys for those that have been supporting in the way of sending stars. Okay, I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it for those that have been sending stars. Okay, now let's try to round up. Almost 2 hours, 38 minutes. So, do we have any other questions? I'm willing to take more questions before we round up for today. If you have any questions, I don't mind you sending me a question. But if you don't have any question, I'm happy because you make the job very easy for me. It means you guys are learning, so there's no need of asking questions. So if I don't get any question, it makes my job for the day very, very easy because that shows you guys are learning, and anytime I'm doing a live video, if anybody wants to come online and join me on the video to chat with me, to discuss with me, or to ask questions instead of commenting, just send me a message on the comment section that please, I want to come live on video. I will send you a link personally to you. You can click on that link that is going to bring you live to the video, and then I will accept you, and then we can now chat or discuss or ask your questions. So this page is open for you. If you want to spend 1 hour on the video discussing, asking questions on the video, you are welcome. So if you want to come on live, you want to join in live, just send me a message in the comment section. Says, please, I would like to come on live with you. Can you send me a link? I will send you a link directly to you. You click on that link that is going to bring you live into the green room. I'll see you here on the green room and then accept you into the live video. And then we can now see face to face and then discuss a variety of questions or concerns that you might have regarding diabetes. Okay, so that is I'm working towards trying to get a phone line. I'm working towards trying to get a phone line that I'm going to attach to the page, so you guys can have a various options, either to phone in, either to call me directly on the phone, or you want to come on live, or you want to comment here. That's okay. So I'm trying to make it more convenient for you guys to communicate with me while on live video. Okay, so once again, I'm thanking everybody that have been sending stars to me. I say thank you guys very, very much. Thank you guys very, very much for sending stars to me. Do we have any question more? Do we have any question more before I round up? Sunday said, okay. Last says, I also tried corn and my sugar level went high from 5.45. So you are very, very right. Yes, so that is why I said it. I don't recommend what that is not good for me. I'm not going to recommend it. So I tried it 2-3 times. I see that it's not good, so I don't eat corn. The same thing with banana. Banana is the worst. If I take even a tiny piece of banana and eat, it changes my situation. So that is why I don't eat banana. And many people that comes to me, I tell them, no, stay away from banana. Banana is going to spike up your. In fact, banana is going to mess your day up all day. You're going to be urinating every second. You're going to spike up your sugar level. So I've had a bad experience. So I have to go to gym. When I eat banana, it messed up my day. I have to go and spend 5 hours in the gym on a treadmill just to burn everything out, just to make sure that all the excess sugar in my bloodstream is drained out. I spend good 5 hours on a treadmill at intervals, 1 hour, 2 hours, stop, continue again until I was able to get it off my system. And then since that day, I stopped taking banana. So it is not good. Same thing with corn. So stay away from it. Okay. So do we have any other question before I round up for today? I wanted to do another live video for today, but it's not going to be possible. Time constraint. Um, so do we have any question before we round up? All right. So if you don't have any other question, I'm going to let you guys enjoy your Sunday, and then we will try it again sometime this week. If we don't have any other question, then I'm going to call it a day for today. Except there's any other question, and then we can take it from there. Do we have any other question? All right. So, in the absence of any other question, because I've finished my program for today, I've given you guys. Okay. All right. I'm going to say thank you guys for those that have stayed with me for almost 3 hours today. On today's program, I will say thank you guys for today's program. And we are going to meet again within the week, and then have another session of diabetes session. And I hope you guys are learning from it. Then thank you guys for the support. And then please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, try doing so. Go to my channel, okay, and try to subscribe to my channel. Okay, like, comment, and share. Okay, like, comment, and share. If you've not done so, try to do so, and then invite your friends over. Okay, invite your friends over. I've seen our subscribership is now increasing. Okay, sooner or later we're going to be hitting 30,000. Sooner or later we're going to be hitting 30,000. So that is an improvement. Okay, so invite your friends to keep subscribing to the channel. All right, so I'm going to see you guys next time, and have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful weekend and then we are going to meet up again during the week. We're going to meet up again during the week, and then we can discuss more issues. Keep sending in your questions, keep sending in your comments, and I'm going to respond to each comment that comes my way at my earliest convenience. All right. So once again, I'm going to thank you guys for being with me today in today's program. Have a wonderful Sunday. Goodbye.